Hello and welcome, my Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your 8-card draw. What do I need read for this full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces, February into March 2021. That is a mouthful, and I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons. Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, fellow earth sign Virgo that I am, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you, my dear Taurians, may call me Mal. Hi. Yeah, I took on the name Mal in 7th grade because there was another kid named Mark in the class who ended up being one of my dearest, and still to this day one of my dearest friends. So I went with my initials, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. I know it means evil in a bunch of different languages, but you know, it stuck. So, yeah. So let's get up in this gig, shall we, my Taurians? This is an 8-card draw. We're picking one card from 8 different card systems, 3 oracles, 3 healing systems, and 2 tarot systems. To get you the clues, tips, and hints, you need about a specific amount of time, sort of like a card of the day, but 8 of them, and for 2 weeks for a waning moon period. The full moon in Virgo, Saturday, February 27th. 3:17 a.m., a little early for my taste. I'll do my magic the night before. Thank you very much. Maybe at midnight. You know, the witching hour isn't at midnight. It's 11:30 to 12:30. Get it? Half hour on each side of the day where the veil is thin. Just say it. Little things you learn along the way. And then we are looking at the waning moon to the new moon in Pisces on Saturday, March 13th, 5:21 a.m. All times are Eastern because I'm in New York. And that's why you like me. That's why you keep coming back. Because I am a native New Yorker. I even know the song. Anyway, moving along. This is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs because you might get different information about the same thing that you need to what? Be aware of, to wane, to release, to dissolve, to transform, to alchemize from lead to gold, right? To heal, that kind of stuff. As well as you might get a totally different situation. Oh, some quick business. I'm now doing tarot parties on Facebook. I am now monetized on Facebook, my Drawing the Circle Productions Facebook page, link in the description box below. Doing, went Zoom Pro. I'm now subscribed, whatever it is, Zoom Pro, so that I have relatively unlimited amount of time on Zoom, as many people as I want, but we're only doing 10 people per party. It's pay to get in, right? Pay to play, so to speak. And it's all in there, and it's a lot of fun. And we've been theming the parties. We had drinkies the first time, we had pajama party the second, and it's always on Monday, Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and everybody gets read. And because it's Zoom, I can record it, and if it works, I can even send you the link. So you get to, but it's a party, right? It's like if anybody's having severe, like, trauma, whatever, we'll all be supportive. But and it's been a very supportive group. It's been all women. It's a lot of fun. So just saying. Oh, and my book, Words of Grace, from a Professional Witch, is coming out in Kindle. It will be available on Amazon and all of that. We're shooting for this very full moon in Virgo, so we're also in last minute edit deadline to get that done, but I have a brilliant Kindle editor who's working with me. Sometimes it takes a millennial. Do you know what I mean? So let's get up in this gig. Feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. All the decks that I read are always in the description box at the bottom with cool links on the way down if you want to go check it out. Otherwise, ground and center, and breathe. All of that explanation just to get to that breath. I say it every time. Because here we go. Now the fun part. Hello and good morning, my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, general assembly, and the higher selves of all involved, 8th chakra and above, 5th dimension and above. For my Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, get me one Caroline Mace archetype card. What is the dominant soul pattern or archetype? Both, actually. That's both of those things that they need to be aware of, that needs alchemizing from lead to gold, shadow to light, toxic to healthy within themselves, right? Their own archetypal dealio, somebody else they're dealing with. A situation can be all of that or some of that, please. For this Taurus watching this video, receiving this reading, this full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces. Now, it's funny because I'm a Virgo Sun, Pisces Moon, so this is my reverse. So this one should be an interesting one and lovely. You got a wisdom family archetype. Now, whether this is you, somebody you're dealing with, or a situation, because the situation can certainly do this for you. It's the mentor archetype. Now, I'm not a mentor, I'm a teacher. There's a difference. Occasionally I will find people under my wing, and I will occasionally take people under my wing, but the mentorship thing, I've had mentors, I've had people mentor me. The recipient of being mentored is a mentee, which sounds like manatee to me, but they're so cute, manatees. I would have one, but it's not going to live in my bathtub. So let me read you the shadow and the light here, written on the card. The shadow attribute, inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master. And I've actually lived through that, both in the corporate setting as well as in the spiritual community, in terms of people who mentored me, but that really tried to hold me back, didn't want to see me pass them, so to speak, or surpass them, imparting false instructions, which is no bueno. That means the shadow attribute of any archetype is what you don't want to see you're doing. And if you do see it, you don't want anybody to know about it, right? So you push it back in the shadow. So imparting false instructions, that's sabotorial at best. But the light attribute, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. It's like we do that in our lives in different relationships anyway, right? Whether or not we realize we're mentoring somebody or being mentored. But this feels warm. This feels nice. I mean, yes, if there's something toxic going on here, you're going to have to really figure out, am I the mentor? Am I the mentee? Is there a larger situation that is mentoring me? Because it can. Sometimes we go through stuff really just to receive the wisdom. The universe is trying to impart wisdom to us and refine our character. But think refinery like a metal refinery, right? It's like a lot of fire and a lot of molten lava. Well, it's not lava, but I forget what that's called. Yeah, I used to know all that stuff. Blacksmith path lives. What can I tell you? Let's get more. The Healing with the Angels Oracle, Doreen Virtue. Who's the angel you need to work on, or work with, I should say, to alchemize that lead to gold with that mentor energy in your life, some way, shape, or form? Please take a nice deep breath. And we've got a double dip of the angels of earth today. Please, my angels and archangels of earth, the Arielites, the Urielites, the Aureolites, please, one card in clarity for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, with this mentor archetype that they need to be aware of and heal, right? From that shadow to light, bring the shadow into light. It vanishes. The alchemy from lead to gold. Who's the angel they most need to work with, read about, tune to, channel, automatic writing, full body trance, whatever they need to do? Who is the angel that they need this full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces? The soulmate. Now I'm going to tell you, just because I have it written down in front of me, which is why I write it down, the Aries reading I did just before this one has the exact same card. So I will say not exactly the same thing, because hard to step in the same river twice. Zen cone. This card does not have a twin flame card in it. This deck doesn't have a twin flame card. So the soulmate card I call the soul contract card, because there are soulmates and there are twin flames, and there are a difference. And there's a really old definition of that that's really toxic and ego-based. Sorry, not sorry. There's a new definition, because really those are the foundational two contracts of all relationships. So all soulmates are not romantic, sexual. You have more than one. You have more than one twin flame contract, and there is a video online, Matt Kahn, K-A-H-N. We're going to use his healing mantra deck before we're done here today. Defining, it's called, the name of the video, it's on YouTube. His YouTube channel is genius. It saved my life so many times. I highly recommend his work. His books are great. His mantra deck is amazing. I don't know him. He don't know me. I only know of his work. Just, it's not like I'm promoting him and getting paid for it. I'm not. I'm not. But the name of the video is Soul Contracts, Twin flames and soulmates redefined. And so that's what has really educated me, because I never liked the word soulmate or twin flame, because I felt something's off there. It sounds like spiritual codependency, and there's versions of it that certainly are. But this is going to say that there's definitely a relationship, and it would make sense, a mentor-mentee, that the healing angel of soul contracts is in need here. Now, why would that need to be? Because there's some healing that needs to take place. If it truly is soulmate, here's the foundation. My mother and I are soulmates, just to give you larger context outside of the romantic sexual. We help each other heal. We have. I literally was born to help her recover from the loss of the child that was born before me, my brother Sean, who was me, if that makes sense. It's like I was twice born in this life. It's a long story, right? But my whole life. That doesn't mean my mom and I always got along. But my father and I were twin flames. We loved each other. We just couldn't give each other the love the other one wanted, right? He wanted a Republican, heterosexual Catholic, liberal, homosexual witch. So cope, Dad. Well, he's crossed over. It's so much easier, the relationship, once you can, find the happy medium. Sorry. It happened when I was younger. I'm 42 now, and we still talk. So whether this is twin flame or soulmate, there's definitely a contract here in place. Now, all relationships have contracts in place, but what would the healing angel of soul contracts do except tune you into that? Right? There's great wisdom being imparted, and that's why this relationship, like even if it's not a relationship with a mentor, this contract could be, like I said, a situation where you are being taken under something's wing, so to speak, imparting wisdom and refining your character. Interesting. Sticking with the angels for another hot second, like I said, we're double dipping. The Crystal Oracle, Tony Carmine Salerno, dedicated to Archangel Ariel, one of those three archangels of Earth and the power of the North and all of that. But my personal archangel, because the name Ariel means lion of God, or lioness of God, which makes her the archangel of lions. And my name is Markangelo Lion. See, you try saying that. I'm doing videos all day long. Let's get you the crystal oracle that you need. Breathe. And yes, I am the fun one. I love you, my beloved Archangel Ariel. Please, one card in clarity for this Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the crystal oracle card they need? The information in the book, the stone itself, their own experience with it, all of that, some of that. This full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces, considering they're dealing with the mentor archetype in some way, shape, or form and need the healing angel of soulmate. What would be then the perfect crystal oracle for them? Tiger's eye. I forgot my lucky tiger's eye. I'm such the Jillian in that situation. I just am. The tiger's eye card. Now, I do have the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rivals, which might be on the table here, we shall see. The keywords, easy stone to find and not horribly expensive either. Tiger's eye. Oh, the keywords calm, clarity, balanced emotions, communication, and intuition. Now, I gotta say, that's very centering and grounding at the same time. And certainly in alignment with that mentor vibe that we're getting here, that clarity, right? If a mentorship, even if it is a universal situation, that gives you clarity on something so that you can balance your emotions, be calm, and follow your intuition, because your intuition and your emotions are not always the same thing. In fact, you can have a gut feeling that you then have an emotion about, right? It's like, I feel it in my second chakra, but I'm afraid of it, right? You see, it gets confusing. If you have been plagued with negative thoughts lately, then Tiger's Eye Crystal will help you rid yourself of these and help you regain a positive and more inspiring attitude. That is true, because generally grounding stones keep you in the present moment, safe in the body, so the mind isn't as wandering, you're tethered, you're grounded. So I'm glad you got a very earth stone for being an earth sign. You will soon begin to see things clearly and realize that there was really nothing to fear in the first place. Calm your thoughts and start to listen to your intuition. Know that all is well and that only love surrounds you. This card is also to do with communication. You may avoid unnecessary turmoil and problems by communicating clearly with others. Now, in a soulmate contract, a soul contract in general, I don't care if it's twin flame or soulmate, healthy or toxic, somewhere in between, because most of them are. Honesty is the best policy. Yes, the truth will set you free, and, it may set some villages on fire and piss people off along the way, but it's better than deception, right? So to communicate yourself clearly and calmly, even if people don't like it. I said to somebody this morning, I was like, well, what's your worst fear? What are they going to do, yell at you? Like, what are they going to do? You have the upper hand. A lot of times when I work, and I work with a lot of women, I mean, obviously I'm safe space. I'm gay as a goose. Well, I don't know about geese, not my favorite thing, but whatever, blessed be. Waterfowl. But I said, a lot of my work in this world is working with women who have the upper hand, have all the power, but they don't even realize it. I'm starting to consider myself a crone doula, right? I'm not a woman servant that brings people in or sends people off. I help mothers turn into crones. Breathe, right? Breathe, breathe, breathe. Don't be afraid to express your views honestly, and make sure there is no misunderstanding. You will gain respect and admiration for doing so. Rock. Rock, 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 rock and roll high school. I don't care about history. You can always guarantee a 1980s music reference on my channel because it's how my minds communicate. Sorta. Let's get some tarot narrative here. We've got one healing system and 2 oracles, come here, on the table. Let's see what the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. This is what you need to be aware of inside of yourself, to deal with, to heal, to wane in some way, to alchemize. Heart, throat, third eye, crown chakras. If you need, landmarks, so to speak, please take a nice deep breath. This feels good, though. I gotta say, whatever, if there is toxicity going on here, it doesn't feel dominant for most of you. Please, my goddesses of Earth and the sign of Taurus. One card in clarity, Daughters of the Moon Tarot. What is it that the Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, needs to be aware of, focus on, heal, deal with this full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces. The 4 of Swords in this deck, certainly a card of meditation, I will give you that. That's pretty standard across the board in terms of tarot. But in this deck, deception. Now, I know it looks like the 2 of Swords, but there are 2 swords underneath her that she is unaware of, or she is trying to be unaware of. So there is some deception in play here. Now, the thing is you might be feeling that, right? And that's why I think this tiger's eye saying, just communicate yourself honestly and clearly and stay calm. You say, I feel like I'm missing something here. I mean, I really can't make the wisest, clearest decisions unless I have most, if not all, of the information. And I feel like, you have that conversation with somebody. But if you come at them like, you lying to me, do you know how dangerous it is to lie? Get some tiger's eye. It's not that hard to find, and I mean, we'll see what the next card down is, but the card deception, I mean, there's self-deception. You can deceive yourself that you're being deceived, meaning that you're not, but you believe you are, and vice versa. You can be deceived and deceive yourself telling you you're not, and I think everybody's played both sides of that, right? Are you deceiving yourself? Is someone deceiving you? Now, I still think that 4 of Swords energy, though this is blades in this deck, Daughters of the Moon, there is absolutely introspection. There is absolutely time for meditation and healing and rest here, because usually when we deceive ourselves, it's because we're overloaded anyway. Our nervous systems get overstimulated and inflamed, and and we're not seeing all the deets. But if there is something here, particularly if you are a mentor, now you might not have realized you were mentoring, but you're in that shadow and you kind of don't want, you like the power, so you don't want to let the student surpass you or even move on to the role of master, understanding that the divine will send you another person to mentor. Believe me, even though I'm not a mentor. You know what? It's funny. I don't mentor people through my work or about my work. I have students. I don't have mentees, but I will take certain people, particularly younger gay men, not in a sexual way, but sort of just like, what do you mean you've never seen Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, or Tu Wong Fu? These are classics. What do you mean you don't know who the boys in the band are, right? So, what do you mean you don't know what All About Eve is? Eve, my understudy. Of course I knew, right? They don't know that. So it's like, sit down. Sit down. We're getting some popcorn. We're getting some DoorDash. We're going to binge them. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't know this existed. So in that way, perhaps I'm a mentor. See what I mean? It's like, it's not just so literal. Like, you sign up and every week it's like Tuesdays with Maury. Mondays with Marky. Let's keep going. What does this look like on the outside? I get it. There is some deception here. See, this is why my private clients love me, because I'm fun and it's a conversation. That's why I'm very conversational on my channel. I've been reading people face to face for decades, doing this to a camera, editing it and sending it out, though not new in my life. It's a different vibe. So let's see what's going on. Root, sacrum, solar plexus, the external part of this, either a situation, what this is about, or perhaps how you're appearing from the outside looking in. It can be both sometimes. Please breathe. My gods of earth and the sign of Taurus. Please, one card in clarity for this Taurus collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. They've got the mentor archetype some way, shape, or form that they need to address. The angel, healing angel of soulmate. It's definitely a soul contract here. This is all scheduled and right on time. It feels like tiger's eye. That they need to be calm. They need to clarify, right? They need to communicate the truth, and they will be respected for it as a result. And there is some sort of deception at work here that certainly some introspection and some rest and meditation and all of that would help. Maybe a little bit of, not so much soul searching, but mind searching. So please, what's going on here in the physical world? The root, sacrum, solar plexus aspect of this from this full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces, February to March 2020. Ace of Swords, new truth coming in. Now the thing is, you got 4 swords under that. You add the Ace of Swords. That's the argument. Do you want an answer or an argument? An answer. I don't like it. That's an argument. All About Eve. Oh my God. Now look, this is Athena with the Ace of Swords here. Now, you don't really want to screw with Athena. She is the goddess of wisdom, but also the goddess of combat. Combat and strategy, different than Aries hand to hand. This is up on the mountain, on Olympus, right? Watching, right? Stratego. And you know, her weapon wasn't a sword, even though this is the Ace of Swords here. It was a spear. So something's coming in. Something is coming in. A message is coming in. A piece of clarity is coming in. Now, again, with this Tiger's Eye card, is that you speaking the truth here? It's definitely about truth. It's definitely about wisdom. Is it you seeing the truth? This is where the subjective part of a reading comes in a general read. This might very well be you taking that Ace of Swords, combining that with those other 4 inside of yourself and really seeing the mental conflict that's going on here. And I do feel like, not that it's all in your mind, everything's all in your mind. Communication, everything's in our minds. This whole world technically is in our mind from the holographic point of view. It's not there when you look away, what? Right? This is going to really show you things about what you believe, and maybe things that were passed down to you from a shadow mentor, somebody who gave you false instructions. Maybe they didn't know any better, right? They're all out to get you, right? You know, okay, I get it. That's your story, right? Have you absorbed something like that that's keeping you in conflict mentally? It could be a belief system issue. But I love that you're getting Tiger's Eye. It's such a Taurus stone to me for some purpose, if not reason. We got 3 more cards to hit the table, and these should elucidate. The next 2 decks are both healing systems, and they're both the voices of the Ascended Masters. And I'm going to say that now the Ascended Masters are soul contracts. 1/4, actually it's half of the deck, the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, the Suit of Problems. The other 3 suits are back on the bookshelf back there. Luck, Grace, and Healing, those suits, because we save those for the waxings. This is the waning. What's the problem? Because sometimes you need to know, and that's what this is. So please take a nice deep breath. All right, my Ascended Masters of Soul Contracts, please. Obviously, there is a soul contract in play here with this mentor archetype they need to address. They need to call upon that angel, the healing angels of soul contracts. They need to work with Tiger's Eye, clarity, calm, communication. They need to embrace and be aware of that there may be a deception here. There may be something inside of themselves that they are deceiving themselves about, and they need to be aware that truth is coming in, or they are expressing themselves in a way that will bring that deception to light so that they can heal it. Or maybe they know they're being deceived here in a mentor situation. So please, my Ascended Masters of Soul Contracts, what is the problem they need to be aware of here? This full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces. Judy Tenuta alert. He looked at me with lust. He looked at me with lust. Oh, you cannot possess me now. All right, this just turned sexual. Now look, lust is the old name of the deadly sin of entitlement, the deadly sin of the solar plexus, and maybe that's a piece in here because there's actually no entitlement card in here. So I would actually go there first. If this is not a sexual thing, or if there is sexual weirdness going on here, that is a problem, particularly if it is not being addressed, if it's not being communicated. Now, that could really be in very much a toxic way where, well, I guess it's a little different for the mentee maybe having those feelings towards the mentor, as long as they're dealt with, right, in some way, shape, or form. But when it's mentor to mentee, it's just not good. It's a power dynamic that never works. It's just like student-teacher. That's why I don't have romantic sexual relationships with my students. Don't worry, ladies, I'm gay to start with, so that's a double gate that can't be jumped, so to speak, and too high of a transom to jump there, which is why the majority of my clients and students are women. It's just easier that way. But lust is not love unless it's a Go-Go song. Beauty and the Beat, still one of the best albums ever made, and they got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so happy for them. Kathy Valentine was always my favorite, but I dance like Belinda. So that lust vibe here that's going on here, like that needs to be communicated in a safe, boundaried way, speaking truth, saying, you know, I'm getting this vibe here. Now, if this is not the sexual kind of lust, we are looking at a second and third chakra. Greed and entitlement, really put them together. That's the deadly sin of the second chakra, is greed. Entitlement, third, you put those together, you can have a very strong bottomless pit of lust and hunger and stuff going on there. But that can be for money. That can be for all sorts of different things that you believe you lack, or they believe they lack. But it also could be if there is an undeniable sexual attraction that is mutual between the two of you, that needs to be dealt with. Now, I've done that in business situations. Learned it the hard way, but said, you know, there's this vibe going on here. Let's just get this project done. I've even said it to students of mine. I'm like, when you're not my student anymore, you come find me. Let a year go by or so. Then come find me. And they did. It was lovely, but it didn't last because it was just a thing, right? And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Would you like me to seduce you? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Yeah, you know, that's what I call a party turner. The party hath been turned with that card, because this felt, you know, like it could be a friend, like this could be a family member, or somebody. But that lust card, yeah, it's hit me in the second chakra here. Yeah, all right. The healing mantra deck, Matt Kahn, as I mentioned before. What's the healing mantra to help you with all of this? Also from the Ascended Masters. Let's ask. Breathe. Yeah, my Ascended Masters of Soul Contracts, please. They've got the mentor. They need the soulmate healing here, the soul contract healing. They need that tiger's eye. They need to deal with that deception within them, probably by they needing to speak the truth, the Ace of Swords, or hear the truth, or see the truth. Because the problem, it's a question of lust. It's a question of trust. It's a question of all of what they've built up crumbled to dust. Just fucking Depeche Mode at us. They don't mind my Ascended Masters, right? So please, what's the perfect healing mantra for this Taurus collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun, watching this reading. Watching this video, receiving this reading. Virgo full moon waning to new in Pisces. Opening my mind, I allow myself to see beyond my beliefs and ideas. I'm telling you here, this is mostly mental, element of air. This is something that you can wane and you can let go of, or at least you can minimize any suffering around it. Allowing myself to see beyond my beliefs and ideas, opening my mind, is usually a wise option, right? Something that you can do, and it's a mantra, which is mental in nature. So I would recommend, the mantra is simple: I allow myself to see beyond my beliefs and ideas. And nowhere does it say in there that I must absolutely then act on even if I'm unsure. No. This is just purely, like, I want to say almost purely third eye kind of stuff, mental power, which is where that deception card would be, heart, third eye, crown. When your mind opens, you are no longer limited by fearful beliefs or at odds with your own healing journey. And then get that. This is my healing journey for this waning moon, right? With an open mind, you are aware of a bigger cosmic picture where your personal life ushers in your highest potential by uplifting the consciousness of humanity. And that's done as you grow, whether you're aware you're doing that or not. So it does feel like there is this mentor vibe here, and it might not just be mutual. Two people can mentor each other, sure. But that as you heal and grow, you're actually helping people around you you might not even realize, refining their character. As your mind opens, life is not just centered around your personal gains and losses, but shining your light for the well-being of all, wherever you happen to be. This might be you surpassing a mentor, coming into the role of mastery. This mantra is ideal for ending the inner negotiation with the ego, unraveling self-sabotage, which may well be what this is, and confronting the inevitability of loss, because all that rises falls, right? All that waxes wanes, and all that wanes waxes. Because eventually, dreams will come true again when everything old is new again, and all that jazz. Thank you, Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider? No, that's the wrong actor. Rob Schneider's the comedian. Damn it, what's his name? I know the last name. Roy Schneider. Okay, one vowel off. Don't cancel me. So look, if this is romantic sexual, just keep your mind open, right? Maybe it's just one-sided. If you're feeling it's about them, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, with an open mind, I just gotta ask, is there something going on here? Because I'm catching a vibe. Now, if they're like, oh, no, absolutely not, and your second chakra's gone, then we have, in Houston, we have a problem. And if you're actually watching this from Houston, look how psychic I am. Last card down. Whispers of Love Oracle, the voices of the higher selves. Fifth chakra and above, fifth dimension and above, eighth chakra and above. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, keep in mind, this is not just your higher selves, this is the higher selves of all involved. So please, higher selves of all involved. Fifth dimension and above, eighth chakra and above. What is the whisper of love? The piece of information, inspiration, and or insight needed by this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, who needs to deal with this mentor archetype, who needs to work with the angels of soulmate, soul contracts, needs to work with Tiger's Eye, needs to be aware of this deception, this Four of Swords moment going on inside of them, needs to embrace and work with this Ace of Swords, that piece of truth or communication, needs to really understand the problem here is based in lust, and really needs to open their mind, allowing themselves to see beyond their beliefs and ideas. So what's the whisper of love for them this full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces? Show simple acts of kindness. Just seeing if anybody got that. No, that was rewriting the subconscious for Aries. Show simple acts of kindness. A simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. So I think that's saying that this is a relatively benign situation, one that really can be dealt with by just showing a simple act of kindness, like saying, can we just talk for a minute? And doing it kindly. If there is sexual tension and it's mutual and you're both consenting adults, then you really need to renegotiate a bit of that mentor archetype. Or maybe this is a sexual romantic mentorship that you might not be aware of, which changes this whole read. For some of you, that might be true. If you are dealing with somebody who is perhaps a little bit more sexually wise than you are experienced, but are you experienced? Then this is something that could be lovely, but understand the role. You're supposed to Mentors are not supposed to be in your life forever. Oh, I'm listening to Mists of Avalon on audio. I found it on YouTube. Blessed be YouTube. I swear to gods, plural. Right? It's like Merlin wasn't always up Arthur's ass 24/7, right? And at one point they parted ways. People don't realize that. Well, you try getting locked up in a tree all that time, shit's gonna go down. If you know the myth, if you know the legends, right? So this is something that, well, really, Merlin, Taliesin, and Nimue, there we go. there's a mentorship that went horribly wrong as a result of a sexual tryst, but, you know, mythology and human history is just riddled with this stuff. But I think there were other cards that could have hit the table that would say, hey, watch out, watch out. This is saying keep your mind open, because the self-deception might be that you're feeling it, that they're feeling it, and maybe you're both feeling it. So a simple act of kindness. Let me put it together for you in a blessing, because it's my favorite thing to do. You can click off if you want, but you know, you take your blessings where you can, even from long purple-haired gay witches from Long Island. Breathe. My beloved collective pantheons of the divine, please may this Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, be blessed with all that they need this full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces, that they may use the mantra that they need to open their mind, allowing themselves to see beyond their beliefs and ideas as they show simple acts of kindness, energizing themselves and others, that they need to do that. And they need to address this deception inside of themselves, this mental aspect, and they need to embrace this new truth or communicate what it is that they see, because the problem of lust needs to be dealt with, and they need to call upon the healing angels of soul contracts in order to alchemize the lead to gold in this mentor contract they find themselves in, working with that tiger's eye that they need to communicate clearly and calmly, and that they will be respected as a result of doing so, for their well-being, for the well-being of whoever is on the other side of this mentor card, and for the well-being of all. So mote it be. So it is. Tricky read, but I know for some of you that was right on. It was a little specific. That's the thing about general readings. You don't want to be too specific, but I felt like I got the message out that needed to be communicated there. Please comment below if I did. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you want more, subscribe. You want to come tarot party with me? Well, there's a link in the description box down there, and if you want a private reading, I have Zoom. A Facebook video call has been the best industry-wise across for doing these types of meetings like that, and I do them all the time, and they're really easy to book, and particularly on Facebook, you could even Facebook pay me. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helped. Please do comment below if you know what this is, because I'd like to know. Inquiring third eyes like to know. Otherwise, wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of this full moon in Virgo, waning to new in Pisces, February into March 2021. My bulls hail. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.